Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, and our show today is a special one. It's with our star, Katrina Valente, and we are going to be talking about dating views from the perspective of married men. Ooh, that sounds like a good one. Let's welcome Katrina to the show and find out what she's been up to. She's had a major metamorphosis. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. I've had a very busy day.
Well, I just was able to go over on your website and take a peek at the metamorphosis over there. It's spectacular. And I want to bring up your website. But before we do that, you've had a metamorphosis. I was going to say secrets to timeless beauty. And I thought, no, I'm not going to be saying that anymore because of the metamorphosis you've been going through and what you're offering to your clients. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so I've been a holistic esthetician for 28 years, and for the last 3 years, I've been more focused on coaching and healing modalities, particularly coaching people in their relationships, first to themselves and then with each other. So it's been a long time in the process because people have been so used to seeing me in this aesthetic role. But finally, I cracked it with the dating chronicles with Katrina when I came back from the Maldives in May, and I've moved forward from then. So I've revamped my website, changed all the pictures, and I'm offering coaching now. I'm sticking with the 2 massages for the raindrop and the lymphatic drainage, and my energy clearing work and my tarot reading, as well as the coaching, of course.
Wow, that is super exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we get into our topic, let's take a look at your website and applaud you for it. Woo, here it is. Wow. Can you see it?
Thank you.
Look at this picture. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Inner, outer beauty, body, mind, soul, wellness treatments, and coaching. Tell us a little bit about what people can see when they come over here. So if somebody's on the radio and they can't actually see this, what is it that we're looking at?
So this is my website, and it's just offering my coaching services. I'm focusing on men as well as women and couples. And I do the energy clearing, which I do a lot of these days, and it can be done online. So I do work with people all over the world. And we have some testimonials there from clients of mine.
Yeah, let me just read one of these. I think it's really powerful. Katrina is my guiding star. She channels the universe for me and shows me direction when I'm lost. When the mind is fearful and my heart is lost in a sea of chaos, Katrina comes with her powerful connection to the universe and course corrects. Sometimes fear makes one faithful. With Katrina, it's a way of being. Faith and healing are intertwined. Deborah, beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. So that's obviously me in the Maldives. We're talking about the coaching, self-development.
Stunning color, by the way. That dress looks beautiful on you.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. My friend and mentor did this website for me. Alex from House of Social. She's a master in marketing and social media. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. This is the men's section, the coaching section.
And then here are some packages or sessions that people can go ahead and sign up for.
Yeah, I do packages. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
I love that. That's so true. People think sometimes they want one session, everything's going to change. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's my wellness treatments. And it goes, if you go further down, it gives you all the description of each one. So I'm sticking with the DMK facelift facial because that is an incredible treatment. Gives you instant results.
What is DMK?
Danae Montague King is an 80-year-old plastic surgeon from New York who devised this product and professional treatments that is very different to a lot of the others on the market. So this facial gives you instant results, as you can see in the picture. That's after just one treatment, no joke. Real pictures. Yeah.
Wow.
So I decided to stay with that because it really is fantastic and it's for all skin types. And then I'm doing the raindrop massage, the tarot reading, and medical lymphatic drainage.
Okay.
And my energy clearing work, which is what I do most of at the moment.
Tell us a little bit about why that's so important, because we actually had a show on yesterday called Energy. And I think for some people, they don't understand what energy is. They can understand it when it comes to a vehicle, a car, needing energy, fuel. But tell us when it comes to a person.
Well, we're all made up of different molecules and molecular structure, whether it's a body, a computer, a bed cover, a cushion, your clothing. It's all energy. And, you know, we live surrounded by energy, and our auras take in other people's energy. You know, if you feel very depleted after you've spoken to someone, it means they are absorbing your positive energy and leaving you depleted. So what these clearings do is they work on relationship, career, money, or health to bring your auric field back into realignment in order for you to manifest whatever it is you need to and want in your life.
Thanks, Katrina. That was a great explanation. All right, let's go over to any other page here on your website, or anything else you want me to show?
Yeah, there is another page if you just click at the top.
Should I go to coaching?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's where we were. All right, let's go down to, how about Dating Chronicles podcast?
There's oh yeah, the Dating Chronicles. So I'm just getting this podcast edited at the moment. It was a bit challenging because the guy on the far left kept going onto his phone when I was trying to conduct a conversation. So it's been a bit challenging, and I was very upset with him, but he's taking it all very jokingly. I said, well, it wasn't you that was paying for it. So anyway, I chose two different guys. He was one of the guys I dated once only, I hasten to say. He was the bad dresser. He was date number 6. And the other guy is a friend of mine, a younger guy. He's 30 and very connected, very interested in the male-female dynamic, understands a lot. So it was a great contrast between the two of them. Chris is 48, Jamal is 30. So according to my social media girl, Alex, she said it was fantastic. We just have to clip it properly. So.
Wow. So the guy on the left is the one you went on the date with once. And okay. Interesting.
The guy on the right is the one I want to go on a date with.
Just putting it out there. Well, it looks like a beautiful setup. Where did you actually do this?
This is a place called Podster in Dubai, and it's a podcast studio. So they have 3 different rooms to choose from, but I liked the lounge setting the best. But actually on film, it would be better if we were a bit closer together. But it was my first one. You know, you're going to make mistakes. But overall, it's okay. It's okay for a first attempt.
Congratulations. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
Happy for you. Can't wait to hear it. Okay, look at this. Wow, follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, that's my Instagram
Fabulous.
messages.
And is there somewhere people can go and click to follow you?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
There's a couple of buttons on the website that you can
go.
instantly WhatsApp me.
Down here on the bottom.
Yeah, email me.
Fantastic. Well, it's absolutely beautiful and very comprehensive.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get into the topic today, the topic you wanted to discuss. So I'm going to focus on following your lead.
So I've been speaking to quite a few married men lately, and they've been giving their take on their lives in general and about the dating scene, particularly in Dubai, because obviously this is where we live. They have a term here called sugar babies. These are younger women that look for rich older men to take care of them, basically. And trust me when I tell you, they are not shy in coming forward. Some of the guys send me screenshots of Tinder or Bumble, and these girls, 24, 22, asking men to literally take care of them, buy them nice gifts, send them flowers, take them for nice dinners. I mean, it's quite unbelievable. So the guys have been complaining that, you know, a lot of women in Dubai are just after men with money. The married men, I spoke to one the other day actually, who's an old boyfriend of mine, and he was saying the reason it's so difficult for women like me or any single decent woman in Dubai to find someone is because all these men are just hanging around with the young chicks that want them for the money, and they can toss them aside and the next week have someone different in their place. So his question was, why would they want to settle down and get married or be in a serious relationship when there's so much on offer here?
So what is your perspective on that?
I think he's got a point, definitely. I mean, Dubai's not a real place in that perspective. You know, you've got people from every walk of life, every country coming to live here. So it's a big mixing pot. So people behave badly because they're not living to the neighbor that they grew up with, for instance. You know, you don't know anybody here, you make new friends, you get on a plane, you leave, you never see them again. So I do think after living here for 25 years, there is definitely that factor. However, I don't, you know, I think that's one demographic. I mean, Dubai's full of over 3 million people. So I do know a lot of people that are actually looking for love, men and women. So, you know, there's an argument for both sides, I think.
Of course. And there's usually the third. There's one side, the other side, and then somewhere in the middle. So in your coaching process, working with men, working with women, working with couples, what is the time frame that someone needs to dedicate to discuss an issue like this? It's not one and done, right? Because you need to get.
No, I mean, they're going to need at least 6 sessions, I think, to really, you know, set a change in motion so that they have a different perspective on themselves, on their lives, and what they want. Because when you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, you see things through one colored lens. You have tunnel vision from your perspective. So I'm here to give them options, to give them other perspectives on what they can do to attract what they want in their life.
And I think it's also challenging because sometimes people don't know what they want to attract.
Yeah, well, that if they don't know, then I can't help them very much. I would then get them to work on themselves at finding out what it is they want and taking them back to the mother-father issues, because that's when all our belief systems kicked in. Our parents were our first teachers. So you have to kind of demolish all of that and dissect it to make them understand why they do the things they do.
And you mentioned about Dubai. Would you say that people there, in general, it's very general, are people already in committed relationships and moving there, or people are singles pretty much, they've moved there and now they're looking for relationships?
No, it's a bit of both. I mean, Dubai is a very young demographic. So you have a lot of 20s, 30-year-olds that are in the workplace. Saying that, there's quite a few single dating social events have come onto the market, and they're always very busy with older people, 35, 45 plus. So there is definitely a gap in the market for that kind of thing. And people are finding it very difficult to match, especially nowadays. Everything's online, social media's there. It's just people don't meet people in the real world anymore, it seems. It seems that way, you know. People are busy working, they don't go out maybe once or twice a week. So where are your chances really to meet any quality people?
Well, you're preaching to the choir on that one, because I know, because I'm working all the time, the likelihood of meeting someone behind the green screen is zero. So, but so they really need someone like you. And so it seems to me, with all of the things that you offer, first someone gets in touch with who they are and understands what it is they're looking for. And you unlock a lot of this through the services that you've been offering for decades. And then once a person does feel good within themselves, has that confidence, knows what it is they're looking for, then they really can launch into the dating world with you as a guide.
Yeah, that's my take on it anyway.
Yes,
Help them move
that's the
forward.
metamorphosis.
Yes, definitely. I mean, because I've trained in so many different modalities, I can attack the mind, body, spirit of a person. So I'm looking at it from all angles, not just one dimensional. And if they're here in Dubai, or, you know, when I go to the spas to work abroad, then I can work on the body treatments as well, because
And
they are healing modalities also. It's not just one dimensional.
it's also, if I understand, it's also an ongoing thing. So you need to be we need to be taking care of ourselves on a regular basis. It's not, okay, go and get these treatments and then go back to bad ways.
No, of course not. I mean, I give them a lot of advice on what they should be doing on a daily basis. When they take the coaching programs with me, there's always homework to do between each session. And, you know, the person has to take accountability. I can't just, you know, it's not a one-way street. They have to have interaction, and they have to do their part if they are truly serious about having change in their life.
And that's what it takes. And it's also a journey, because
Totally.
we didn't get to wherever we are overnight. And I think that's one thing. If you can go back to the one coaching session, and even that person you were referencing in your podcast who was looking at the phone, that's a behavior trait. The person's not listening, they're not engaged, and that will come through in their dating. Because if you set up to do a podcast, I don't even know this person, but if you made a commitment to spend a certain amount of time with someone, a professional as yourself, why would you be on your phone? Because
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
distracted.
in his slight defense, he was in a big meeting before he came to me, and it was a big deal for him. And then the texting he was doing was to the person he just met. So, you know, he wasn't focused. But, you know, I did that podcast timing around his availability to suit him. And I think he could have put down his phone and given me an hour of his time, as he had committed to it, you know, because, yeah, I was not happy about that. But anyway, it's a lesson learned, and I'll be a bit more strict the next time. No phones in the podcast studio when we're recording.
It's so true. I love that you just mentioned that, because even here doing live streaming, and all the coaching that I give people about how to show up. I still had somebody the last 2 weeks show up in their car. No, this is a professional podcast broadcast. It's going to be out there forever. You have to show up with a certain level of professionalism, and being strapped into with your seatbelt to your car. You don't come across as an expert per se. If, for example, if I was in my car right now, would that be professional if I'm talking to? No, you'd be like, why didn't she get out of her car? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I was very upset because it was my first podcast, and I chose him because he was quite communicative on the date. I mean, he's a good storyteller. And because he was older and this other guy was younger from a different culture, and it actually did turn out to be a very good contrast. But the video shows him on his phone, so I'm going to have to cut him a lot out of it. He can't be seen being on his phone, you know, it just doesn't look good.
No, and also the fact that you had shared that this person just came from a meeting, I think that's also important, because we're usually going from one thing to the next, and somebody's expecting something and we're still somewhere else. So there has to be a way to take whatever energy you had associated with where you just were, clear it, and then show up fresh for the next opportunity.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's time, but maybe before the next podcast, you could have like a clearing session with the person, like a very quick one. Is that possible?
I mean, he's fine. He takes everything on the chin. He's joking with me now, you know, kind of fobbing it off. But, you know, it was important to me. It's me stepping into a new realm. I mean, I think podcasting is definitely the way forward. You just got there first, Dr. Jacalyn.
Well, it's interesting. I've done over 3,000 shows at this point in time. And
wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And I actually coach people on how to be an outstanding broadcaster. So broadcaster, podcaster, because there is an art to it. But so if we go back to what we were talking about with the married men, what are some of the other nuggets, the gems, the jewels that you've gleaned from your conversations?
Well, I was talking to this Brazilian guy the other day in the gym, and he was telling me that he'd slept in a hotel the night before because he'd been arguing with his wife because she's getting super jealous of all the women he's following on social media and that are following him. And he's 44, she's 32, they've got a 5-year-old child together. And, you know, I said to him, it's social media has been so bad for relationships, I think. And people say, oh, you know, you can look as long as you don't touch. But you know, I get a lot of DMs from married men, from guys in general. And if you're taking away your attention from your wife and giving it to another woman, that is a form of cheating. And, you know, he was kind of defending it and saying, but I'm not doing anything. And if I wanted to do it, I could do it. By the way, this is his third marriage. So, and she's Ukrainian, he's Brazilian. I mean, Brazilians are so free. I mean, you know, they're not unencumbered by anything. They're not held down by anything. And this Ukrainian woman, I mean, you know, the Eastern Bloc girls tend to be a bit princess-ish. And they want a lot of attention. They want a lot of time from their partner. And you're never going to get that with a Brazilian guy. You're just not. It's just not the way they're built. So I think he made a mistake in the beginning in actually choosing a girl from this part of the world. And he agreed with me to a certain degree, you know.
So what is the outcome then?
I don't know what the outcome was. I saw him the other day in the gym. He just gave me a wave. But he said he was heading for another divorce.
You know, you brought up a very important topic, which is jealousy. And I was somewhere and this guy started talking to me. Of course, I interview people all the time. So I basically was starting to interview him. And then he mentioned his wife, and she had been sitting on the other side of the room. And I thought to myself, I really gave her a lot of credit because he was talking to me for like 20 or 25 minutes and she did not come over. Normally, you would think that somebody would come over right away and say, hey, just letting you know. So, how is it that we can love someone and respect someone and at the same time be at peace and not be jealous? I mean, that's a big question.
I mean, look, jealousy, the definition of jealousy is wanting to possess another person. And I think you get jealous if you're insecure. And why are you insecure? What is happening in your relationship that is making you insecure? Because I don't think if you're in a long-term committed relationship, you should have that emotion. That should be null and void in the relationship if you're truly committed to each other.
So, it could be that you're insecure with yourself, and it could be that you're insecure with your relationship, or it could be both.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, but jealousy in a relationship stems from being insecure within the relationship, and that other person is doing something to make you feel jealous.
Now, what about what you
Definitely.
just said? Someone is doing something. Is it they're not doing it to make you jealous, or they could be, or
Well, yeah,
you?
I mean, no, it's the behavior. It's the behavior of someone in a relationship. So he or she has obvious um, issues with insecurity on some level. You know, maybe the other guy's a flirt, maybe her partner's a flirt and he's always chatting up other women. That's not nice for any woman to stand back and watch that, unless you've got a really, really solid relationship. But I don't think there's many women, even in that situation, that would tolerate that kind of behavior. I think it's very disrespectful to the person you're with, especially if you're doing it in front of them. You know, so that kind of scenario can create jealousy.
Let's say that as a couple, you've been in a relationship for whatever amount of time and you go to an event together. And I've seen this happen where one person or the other knows the majority of the people and the other person's tagging along like, oh yes, hi, but you can tell that they're uncomfortable. Should you separate and go your own ways at an event like that, or is it better to stay together? Because if you're not standing there together, the likelihood of getting jealous, I think, would increase because you're looking over and seeing whomever it is that your partner's speaking to.
No, I think you have to have a little tete-a-tete before you go to an event like that. There's no point in going with your partner and not being with them the whole night. What's the point? You know, there's no point. I wouldn't separate. I would stay with them. But there has to be an agreement before you go out. Okay, this is what you're going to expect. This is what we're going to do about it. You know, there has to be communication.
Yes, that makes sense. And I think also if one of the partners is uncomfortable going to the event, maybe you have an agreement, we're going to stay for an hour and a half, and then we're going to make our excuses and
Exactly.
leave. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So in the dating chronicles that you've been doing on Instagram, they've been really powerful. And I just love the fact that you just shared with you that surprised you.
What has surprised me? The lack of effort from the men and how they show up. Like, most of them didn't really care what they were wearing. And there's a piece in the podcast where Chris was the bad dresser. He was the one that really turned up a mess. And even on the podcast, he came in a mess. And Jamal, the other guy, is always very, you know, I briefed them as to what to wear. I said you could be casual, but at least be smart. And Jamal came in a nice, you know, golf type shirt with nice check trousers. And Chris turned up in shorts and these trainers with all the fingers in them, hairy legs and a crumpled white t-shirt and a baseball hat. You know, and we had a section in the podcast talking about, does it matter how you turn up? And he was saying, I don't, you know, care how I look. You know, if a person's going to focus more on how I'm looking as to what I'm saying. And then Jamal disagreed, and he goes, well, actually, no, you've got to show up. You've got to step up your game if you want this woman to be interested in you. Because, you know, I mean, call it what you like, I was way above his station. And he saw what I looked like in the pictures, but still he made no effort when he come to meet me. And we met for a drink in the evening, which makes it even worse. I mean, okay, if you're meeting them for a coffee, but, and Dubai is quite dressy. It's more dressy than most countries. So yeah, no excuses there. And he lost points for that because, you know, and Jamal agreed with me, how somebody turns up is how they respect themselves.
It's true. We just had a show yesterday about energy and about style and first impressions. And what I'm wondering about this person you're referring to is this person super confident, overconfident, or how would you describe this person?
I mean, he's British. Sorry to say, I'm British. And I don't know, there's something about the British culture. They're not refined like some other cultures. And, you know, his attitude was, you know, I just don't care. I'll turn up the way I want to turn up and they'll like it or leave it type of an attitude. It's never good because, you know, I mean, obviously I've been in aesthetics for so many years. I'm acutely aware of how I look. So I always turn up polished. I mean, people will always say that about me. Oh, Katrina, we never see you looking a mess. It's just not in me. I mean, my mother was never like that. My sister's the same. And I think it just says a lot about you as a person, how you're going to show up in front of others, because the fact remains you get 3 seconds to make a first impression.
That's really true. Now, is it possible that this person showing up the way that they did would be a good match for someone who it was of the same mindset?
Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course. It wasn't my mindset, because looking at him, I'm thinking to myself, well, this guy can't even make the effort to look nice on a first meeting. What's it going to be like from here on in?
Exactly. You know? And I think I shared with you this years ago, but I had a date with a guy who drove 2 hours to meet me and showed up in a sweatsuit. We call them sweatsuits, not a warm up or a tracksuit, the one that has the elastic around the ankles and then the tie at the waist. And if he was going to a sporting event, I wouldn't be wearing that. I mean, that is something you would wear in the privacy of your own home if you lived alone, I would think. But yet he actually got in a car and drove 2 hours to meet me at a fine restaurant wearing that.
No, it's a complete turnoff. I mean, yeah. Complete
So here's a question I have about that. I know that different times of my life that I met someone and they dressed a certain way, not this way, but they dressed a certain way that wasn't really turning me on per se. And I thought, oh, I can work with them. I can get them to change the way that they dress. And of course they ended up doing it. In that situation with that other person you're referring to, or the guy I just described, is that a possibility? Or when do you say to yourself, this is doable or it's not?
Yeah, I mean, I think if someone likes you enough, they'll make changes, because men in general don't really have the best dress sense. But it depends how deep the connection is, or how strong the connection is, and how much that person wants to please you.
Now, on the opposite side, because this has happened to me, have you ever had any man who wanted to redress you in the style that they liked that was different than yours?
No, but I've had actually the guy I saw yesterday that I used to date some 17 years ago. We went. He's Lebanese guy, very very traditional values. I mean, he was telling me that he's been together with his wife for 12 years. He's never cheated on her. Sex just gets better and better. And I just say to him, what is your secret? Because he's very good looking. But, you know, he said, no, I will never cheat. I just can't do it. And I really respect that, because Dubai is full of temptation. I mean, everywhere you look. And what was I saying? I've went off track a bit.
So based on I asked you if you ever had someone who wanted to redress you, like, so for
Yes,
example.
so him, when we were dating, we went to the movies one night, and I had on a tank top with this little jacket over it, and a bit of my cleavage was showing, not a lot. And he said to me, "You're showing too much cleavage. You shouldn't be coming dressed like that to the cinema." And I mean, he wasn't my boyfriend ever. And I just looked at him, and I'm older than him. I'm 8 years older than him. I said, the day a man tells me how to dress is the day he will be kicked to the curb. You know?
What happened?
No, I mean, we were friends, really, more than anything. And I just like rolled my eyes. I didn't do anything. Said,
Did you think there was any validity to what he said?
No.
Okay.
But because we're in a Muslim country, but I mean, nowadays women just dress any old how. I mean, it's just shocking the way you'll see them in because I mean, this is a Muslim country, and you'll see them with jean shorts up their backside, the boobs are out. I mean, it's just, yeah, not good. But no, I had a long skirt on, and I had my shoulders and my arms were covered, and it was just my chest was open. You could see the top of my cleavage. No, it was perfectly acceptable.
Thanks for sharing that. You know, I was listening to a radio show, and they had done a survey of men, and if men liked to see more or less skin, and the majority of men said they'd like to see less skin showing because it leaves more to the imagination, and therefore they liked the winter season better wherever they were because women are more covered up.
I absolutely believe that. I think less is more. And even Jamal, that was on the show, he doesn't like his girlfriends showing their boobs and everything. He's very conservative like that. I mean, I've known him several years now, and we've had many conversations about that. And he's like, Katrina, what do you think? She did this or she did that. And yeah, I think the more covered up you are, men respect it more, because they look at you and they see you as elegant and classy rather than cheap and trashy.
And you know what's interesting, at least if here where I am, if you were to go into one of the nightclub restaurants, so to speak, women have a lot of skin showing, and it's like a competition. Who can wear the tightest clothes and have the most skin showing?
I mean, certainly as I've gotten older, I've covered up more, definitely. I never hardly ever show my cleavage or anything, no short skirts. You know, the rule of thumb is if you're showing your cleavage, you have a longer skirt on or trousers. And if you want to show your legs, then you cover up top.
Yes.
But not both at the same time.
It's one or the other. I love that. That's the rule that I've always heard as well. Yeah. So where do you expect to be going with your podcast and with the Dating Chronicles?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. It's like a new chapter that I've been trying to get to for the last 3 or 4 years. And I just want to do the podcasts. I want to do my coaching, and I want to help people with the knowledge I've acquired over the last 28 years. Spread the goodwill.
Absolutely. And I think it would be fun if you actually did your podcast here as well and brought the guys here. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, cool. I'll do that. And we have to get the menopause girl on with the training as well. Dawn, we'll set that up for next time.
Yes, I was gonna say, yeah, let's do that. Because menopause is such a big topic. It's yeah. And what will this person be discussing?
Training and how to train properly for menopause, to get your waist back, to keep your energies levels high, and to feel as good as you did when you were in your 30s.
Yeah, you know, something that is a whole other show. I know for myself, working as much as I do, and then how hard I work out and things I have to do here in the house, that I do say to myself, you know what, I'm going to have a cookie, or you know what, I'm going. Yesterday, I had my first caffeine drink in 3 or 4 years, and it was tea. It had no calories, but I'm sure it had caffeine. It didn't say it had caffeine, but I'm sure it did. And I said to myself, why not? I mean, I'm 60 years old. When am I wait till I'm 70 to have a caffeine drink?
Yeah, but why? But why don't you want to have caffeine at
Oh, because of my
all?
ulcerative colitis.
Yes,
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 yeah.
yes, yes.
So that's why I stopped drinking it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with treating ourselves. I mean, because let's say you start dating someone and you have all these restrictions. I can't go to this restaurant, that I can't eat this, I can't do that. I can't. It might be like, wow, you
No,
are.
it's boring. It's really boring. And I think balance is everything. We've only got one life. You have to enjoy yourself. You really do. I mean, my strictness levels on myself have lowered a lot. I just can't do it anymore. I mean, I'm all, I'm good, but like I have chocolate every day. I have coffee in the morning, maybe another one in the day. I never exceed two, usually just one. But, it's like everything in moderation is fine. And it's also your emotional feeling towards what you're putting in your body. If it
Yes.
feels good, it's going to assimilate with you. And if you feel guilty, then it's going to be repelled out of your body. So I think it's very important what connection you have to the food that you're eating.
It's so true. And just a quick share, because I love your input on it. I started 75 hard again, which I think
Sorry,
I.
I'm just going to have to plug in my
Oh, okay.
my computer.
No worries. I started the program 75 hard, which is very strict. It's really about becoming a warrior in your mind, mental toughness, that you can be inconvenienced, you can have difficulty, and you don't make excuses. And we make a lot of excuses about things all the time. And so I thought, you know what, I failed it the first time. I did it for 2 weeks. You have to do it for 75 days. And I failed because you have to drink a gallon of water, and for me that's a lot, and it was forcing me to run to the bathroom 12 times during the night. So I said to myself, okay, I have a different perspective about it. So anyway, I did it, and I was on day 3, and I was exhausted because I'd been up both nights running to the bathroom. I couldn't even make it around the town because I had to go to the bath. And I said to myself, why am I doing this to myself? I'm 60 years old. My ulcerative colitis is in remission. What am I doing? This is stupid. So the point of what you said, as you get older, maybe just embracing who you are and finding the joy in that, instead of trying to be 20 or 30 years old, which I'm never going to be.
And being more relaxed about it. I mean, I think I mentioned to you in the last podcast I had a bioresonance treatment, and it
No.
tests all of your body, like everything, as to see what's wrong with you. And she told me that I was very toxic because I take a lot of supplements. And she said to me, she's very holistic. She's actually a friend of mine. She's brilliant. She has so much information on this machine. And she said to me, your liver is just crying out, stop, please stop. And she just asked me to come off everything. And that's such a big thing for me, because I've taken supplements since I was 28 years old, regularly, like all the time. And I am taking quite a lot at the moment. And she said, you need a break. You need a break.
Would you share
And
with us what kinds of supplements you're taking?
oh gosh, I take everything. I take okay, so I take natural thyroid. I've come off the normal thyroid chemical medication, and I've went on to the supplement, which is done through something to do with pigs. They get a natural supplement from pigs. I take evening primrose oil. I take magnesium. I take vitamin C, B vitamins, krill oil. I'm started to take an estrogen organic supplement because I've come off all my bioidentical creams. I take collagen powder in my coffee, and then I put lion's mane in the coffee, which is a mushroom derivative, which is supposed to be very anti-aging and give you lots of energy. And then I was taking, I mean, do you want me to go on?
Are these pills, or are these like individual pills, or are they all together?
No, it's individual capsules. You should always take capsules because they absorb much easier than pills or tablets.
That makes sense.
But I do attribute that to why I look so young and why I've been so well, and I've never had any major illnesses in my life, touch wood. And I do attribute that to taking supplementation.
So how do you process what she's telling you and what you know to be the truth for you?
Well, I think she's correct. I think she's got a very good point. And the fact that I'm always like, I don't run at your level, but I'm the same. When you're single, you've got to do your life from A to Z. And it's a lot. It's a lot on your nervous system. And you don't realize it because this is your life. You don't know any different. So she's been telling me this for the last probably close to a year. You're exhausted. You need to stop. So I took her advice and I booked my ticket with a friend to go to Romania, who she is also Romanian, and she's going to take me around for a week. And then from there, I'm going to Portugal to stay with another very good friend that I used to live with in Dubai. So all in all, I'm having 3 weeks holiday just for me. And it's the first time in 7 years that I've done this.
Congratulations. That's super exciting. I love
that. It is because, you know, I do go to all these places and that's what makes me think I don't need a holiday, but it's still work for me. So I'm still not relaxed. And, you know, your nervous system is on the go all the time. And I remember when I was in Bali, and it was the first holiday I'd had in many years, and everything just came back into balance. I lost the inflammation in my body. I lost weight. We were eating 3 times a day. So, you know, don't discount the amount of stress that you're under on a daily basis, because most people live under too much stress and they don't even realize it.
Excellent points. Excellent. We are out of time. I can't believe it. Our next show is coming up, which you're welcome to join us, A Woman's Prerogative. We moved it. It used to be later in the day, and now it comes right after this. So if you want to join us, you let me know. So how can people get in touch with you, and how can they hire you for your services, and how can they book in on your podcast?
Well, they can go to www.katrinavalente.com and have a look at my brand new website, and you get all the information there that you could ever need about me.
Wow, short and sweet. There it is. Okay. Thanks, Katrina. Thanks, everyone. Please stay tuned for A Woman's Prerogative at our new time slot, which is coming up right after this. All right. We'll see you then. Thanks, Katrina.
Bye. Bye.